So on Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, Christian conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed as he sat under a gazebo at Utah Valley University taking questions from students. And he was 31 years old. And unfortunately, his wife and kids were also in attendance. And he was giving a speech to over 3,000 students. And immediately after the shooting, there was chaos. Obviously, everyone running every which way they could.
Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Okay. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Get down.
Everyone was just jumping on top of each other. No one was trying to get shot. Everyone was just covering each other up because no one knew if there was going to be more shots fired.
Because they didn't know if it was like a mass shooting about to occur. And it sparked a 36-hour manhunt, but ultimately, police were able to locate the suspect. Prior to them locating him, they released some footage of the suspect on the roof. Immediately after the shooting, him hopping off the roof and then walking through the campus. And ultimately into the woods where he was able to escape. But the interesting thing about it is his own father was the one who turned him in.
Robinson was turned in after his father recognized him in photos released by the FBI, and his son admitted he was the gunman. Robinson's father asked him to turn himself in, but his son replied that he would rather kill himself. The father then convinced his son to speak with their youth minister, who called the FBI, and agents later took Robinson into custody.
Now, the suspect's name was 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. He's from Utah, and his family is affiliated with the Church of Latter-day Saints. Go figure.
You never talked politics with the family, or did you?
You know, in a Latter-day Saint community, we just don't talk politics because it makes contention. I don't care what you stand for, whether you're a Republican or independent or Democrat. We have our opinions, and we pretty much keep the politics to ourselves.
And of course, the media is going to try to paint him as this mental health case, and he was a straight A student. Family members and friends had described him as becoming more political over the years. And at a recent dinner, they expressed that he felt like Charlie Kirk was about to attend. So he was aware Charlie Kirk was about to attend Utah Valley. And they said he came out and said that he felt like Charlie Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. So, obviously there's a motive there. A few other friends have spoken out about him and how they went to school with him and what their experience was like as well.
I went to school with this Tyler Robinson kid. I'll show y'all. That's him right there, Tyler Robinson. I'm not trying to clout chase, make this shit about me, but I'm not gonna say I knew this kid really well. I didn't know him very well at all, but I definitely saw him for 3 straight years in high school. And the best way I could describe him is just like a Reddit kid. I don't know, I feel like if you were in high school around that same time, and even probably now, 2018, and then those kinds of kids, but that's exactly what he was. All I'm gonna say is this is the kind of shit that happens when you spend way too much time online, and all of a sudden your beliefs are all the way this way or all the way this way, and you do some dramatic shit to please these people that are not your friends.
Now, prior to Robinson being apprehended, immediately after the shooting, 2 other people were detained by police and held, but they were ultimately released. And on the scene, police actually found the gun, the scope, and a few bullet casings engraved with some slogans. One of the slogans said, "Hey, fastest catch." One of the other engravings was "Oh Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao." If you read this, you are gay. LMAO. Just sick, man. For someone to spend the time to write or engrave these things on bullet casings is crazy. Of course, ciao means goodbye, beautiful in Italian, and it's also the title of a song dedicated to the Italian resistance who fought against occupying troops from Germany. The suspected murder weapon that they recovered was an imported Mauser 30x6 bolt action rifle. It was wrapped in a towel in a wooden area near the campus. Now, Robinson was aware that Kirk was scheduled to attend Utah Valley for the debate. So he's accused of aggravated murder, obstruction of justice, and felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury. Now, let's get into the aftermath of his assassination, right? Because on social media, there was a huge divide. There was so much division. There was one side of people celebrating his demise.
Yo, that's crazy. See, that's why you don't share your opinions in a giant crowd like that.
Was not a senseless act of violence. This was God's plan.
I'm just really glad Charlie Kirk just got himself fucking shot, because he's right. Empathy is dangerous to society.
Saying he deserved it. There's another side who, whether or not they agree with his views or not, the human in them felt compassion for him actually dying and being killed in that way in front of his family and his wife and his babies.
This is such bullshit. I've never been so pissed in my whole life. I just murdered Charlie Kirk right here in Utah.
We don't serve the same God. You don't serve the same God as me. Anytime you can get online and celebrate the death of a man who gave his unsolicited opinion just like you do. To fix your mouth and make jokes about this man losing his life. This man was a husband. This man was a father. But to sit up and laugh and make jokes about it when you do exactly the same thing that he does, which is give your unsolicited opinion that nobody asked you for, there's somebody out there that don't like you either. There's somebody out there that don't like your opinions. There's somebody out there who would do the very same thing to you.
It also sparked a fundraiser on 𝐁𝐮𝐬𝐢𝐳, where I think they raised about $3 million. It might be about $3 million, which is the fastest in that short period of time on that particular platform. Also, it prompted a response from state legislators, governors, the president himself, in response to a lot of the negative commentary that was online and on social media. Let me read some of the things that has occurred since the death of Charlie Kirk on Wednesday, right? So according to the New York Times, it says, since the shooting, dozens of other online influencers have taken it upon themselves to recruit ordinary Americans to turn in fellow citizens for making comments about Mr. Kirk that may be nasty or disparaging, but are likely protected by the First Amendment. So you can say what you want to say online. You have that freedom, you have that right, but you got to be prepared for the consequences that come with it. And a lot of y'all don't understand, like, the things you say online, they're online forever, especially if it goes viral. Like, it's out of here. You go to a potential job, a new employer, and they pulling up your social media. They pulling up everything on people nowadays because you just don't want to hire people of a certain moral character, right? While exposures may occur online, there have been consequences in the real world. Now, a Secret Service employee was placed on administrative leave after stating on Facebook that Mr. Kirk has spewed hate and racism on his show. The leaders of education departments in Florida and Oklahoma both issued statements threatening to investigate and punish teachers who made any positive comments about the assassination, and some teachers in Texas and Iowa were either fired or placed on leave. It's going to get very, very bad for a lot of people. Sometimes it's okay to just keep your opinions to yourself, no matter how you feel about certain people, especially in this type of situation. Is another example. Michael Mann, a prominent climate scientist who works at the University of Pennsylvania, reposted a message referring to Charlie Kirk as the head of Trump's Hitler Youth. Now, the state's Republican Senator Dave McCormick, he called it despicable and urged the university to take immediate, decisive action. Now, when people of the higher ups start, you know what I mean, having an issue with things that you say online, it can get bad. It can get real bad. Now, man felt like he was misportrayed by that post. I don't know how you're misportrayed when it came from your social media account, but he felt like the Republican senator kind of acted too swiftly, and he then deleted the post, which a lot of them are doing. Like, you're saying all these disparaging things online, you don't get the reaction that you expected or you thought you was gonna get. So then you try to delete it, but again, it's there forever. There's screenshots, there's screen recordings. Like, you're gonna be held accountable. And I think that if you're gonna say these things, you gotta stand on it. You gotta stand 10 toes. Now, me personally, I think that this is gonna cause a huge divide in this country. You already see people showing up to Charlie Kirk's vigil, people that are on opposing sides showing up to the vigil where people are mourning and crying. They showing up to express their disdain for some of the distasteful comments that he made prior. But it's like time and place, man. You can easily say how you feel about someone or things that you didn't like about them from the comforts of your own home. You can say it in your phone, record your little video, but to go somewhere where people are mourning this individual to only instigate and antagonize, I don't know, it's just weird behavior to me. I thought that we would see a shift once we started seeing people lose their jobs because of some of the things that they were saying and doing online. Like, remember the young lady who's a flight attendant who lost her job for twerking on the plane.
She's the flight attendant whose twerking cost her dream job.
I didn't think that, being so happy can turn into something like this.
And then another individual who lost his job for saying things, on social media. And I think people aren't going to realize it's real until they sitting at their desk one day and then they're called into human resources. You know what I mean? So they called into the office by human resources. And let's be real. If you lose your job because of comments you made celebrating a killing, then those are the consequences of your free speech. And if you online praising, rationalizing, or making light of this incident, and you supposed to be a Christian, shame on you, man. Shame on you. But y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. Do y'all think people deserve to lose their jobs if they spew a certain rhetoric online or glorify violence and hatred? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man.